In the 1970s, Brazil, which had developed through trade in rubber and other commodities, gained some confidence in national defense technology. After all, money makes things easier, and many expensive military projects were launched during this period, including Brazil's first attempt to design and build the MB-3 tank. In fact, it is not accurate to say that the MB-3 is a completely new tank design and construction. Its basis is the M41 light tank, and even the finished product's appearance is very different from the M41, so the MB-3 should be considered a modified version of the M41. This approach is understandable, as Brazil had no previous experience in tank design, and happened to have hundreds of aging M41C tanks on hand. The related work began in 1978, and the project was given the code name X-30, later renamed to MB-3. Considering that the new tank had to keep up with the times, extensive modifications had to be made to the entire vehicle. These modifications had to be within Brazil's technical capabilities, which proved to be quite challenging for the designers. The first improved version appeared in 1982. The tank's chassis was lengthened, adding an extra pair of idler wheels and lengthening the track structure, and installing 3 pairs of support rollers. Hydraulic shock absorbers were also installed on the first, second, and sixth pairs of support rollers to improve the tank's stability during operation. The tank's engine was intended to be the 500 horsepower Saab Scania DSi-14, which was produced under license in Brazil, in order to ensure mobility while increasing the overall weight of the vehicle. The tank's armor was significantly modified, using 25 mm thick welded steel plates, and the turret had a wedge shape with vertical armor on both sides of the vehicle and turret. From a defensive perspective, the differences from the M41 are not significant, but the appearance does have a modern feel, similar to the difference between a Porsche Cayenne and a Zodi SR9. Regardless of the performance, at first glance, they appear to be similar. The tank's main gun retained the original M32 76mm gun, which Brazil produced under the name M32BR3. The gun's elevation angle ranges from -6 degrees to 18 degrees, and it is equipped with 2 coaxial machine guns, and a top-mounted anti-aircraft machine gun. Smoke grenade launchers were also planned to be installed on both sides of the turret. The modified tank already had a significant difference in appearance from the M41, with only the main gun still showing the connection between the two. However, structurally, there was no essential difference, and the overall combat capability did not receive a reliable improvement. The second version appeared in 1983, with the power replaced by a 730 horsepower 8V92TA diesel engine, and the transmission was the Allison CD 500-3, which Brazil could produce on its own. Since the 76mm gun was inadequate for the new generation of tanks, it was replaced by a 90mm gun. The size of the gun did not require significant modifications to the turret. At that time, Brazil had obtained 90mm guns, such as the EC 90mm gun installed on the EE-9 wheeled armored vehicle developed in the 1970s. The third version appeared in 1987, and this was the most powerful version. The main gun was replaced with the L7A3 105mm rifled gun, which required extensive adjustments to the entire turret to accommodate the gun. New fire control equipment, laser rangefinders, and a digital ballistic computer were also installed. As a country with limited technical capabilities, Brazil's ability to modify an old light tank to this extent is quite impressive. Brazil also wanted to equip a large number of these tanks, but the large-scale replacement of tanks is not a small sum of money. Even though the military was willing to support domestic companies, it was unable to resist the cheap availability of M60 tanks on the second-hand market. The design company had no choice but to look to foreign markets, as they believed that many South American countries still had M41 tanks in service. They wanted to market the MB-3 as an upgrade package for those economically struggling countries, but such an upgrade plan was still expensive, and customers preferred to browse the second-hand market. In fact, there were other reasons for not choosing Brazil's upgrade package. Brazil had limited indigenous products, such as not having full control over 105mm rifled gun technology. As the beautiful country's backyard, it is unclear how long Brazil could openly and boldly develop its military industry. It would be unwise to sacrifice the future upgrades of equipment for temporary convenience. Second-hand tanks are also quite capable, and if neighboring countries were to purchase large quantities, it would pose a significant threat.